It's Michelle, and I am at Stinson Beach. It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to all of you. And I'm thinking about stories again, my favorite topic. So I've been exploring that space between stories, in between where an old life has ended and a new life has not yet begun. And in that time, that space between stories, we all have the capacity to change what it is that we are telling ourselves for our stories. And in changing the story, we actually change what happens to us. We change physiologically because when we believe different things, and that's why the placebo effect is so powerful. So, okay, as an example, I will use my story. When my marriage ended, a little over 7 years ago, the story I told myself was that my life was over. It was over. And I wanted it to be. I just did not see how I would live without my beloved, and the agony of betrayal, and the fact that I was over 50 now, and oh my God. And I believed that for a period of time. And during that period of time, I was utterly miserable, and rightly so, okay, because my marriage had just ended, and it was sudden and all of that. But I could have stayed with that story. I could have kept it. I know people who are, 30 years out of their marriage still bitter about what happened or didn't happen. So I realized I couldn't live with that story. I wanted to be dead, and I knew that I wasn't likely to be dead anytime soon, and I didn't believe in suicide, so it was like, okay, if I have to live with this new life, I better find a story that I can live with. And I'm not sure how much of this was conscious and how much of it just started to unfold, but I did begin little by little to examine other possibilities. And as I started to do that, when I opened my mind, my heart, my thoughts to the idea that maybe it was different, then maybe it wasn't all over for me, maybe there were some good things that could come of it, it started to be more true for me. And I started to think, well, maybe this is true. Maybe it actually unfolded this way. And as I believed that, I started to feel better. And the more I started to feel better, the more good things started to happen to me. And it was a self-perpetuating kind of thing. And so now I have a new story. And this story is that I love being single. I'm happier than I've ever been in my entire life. I have so much freedom, and I love solitude. I love being able to do what I want when I want, like decide to go to the beach for Valentine's Day. And so that's not to say that I will stick with this story forever. There may come a time when I realize that I need somebody else in my life, that I would be enriched by that, and my story will change. Or perhaps I'll fall madly in love, and that story will change just like that. Suddenly it's like, yes, the relationship is a good thing. But my point is that when you believe a particular story, that becomes more true for you. And so it's not about making up some fantasy. I believe that a knight in shining armor is going to come riding his white horse down the beach and sweep me off my feet. It has to be something that has elements of truth and true possibility for you in order to make it work. So I just invite you, whatever story you might be telling yourself, maybe about this Valentine's Day. Maybe you're alone and you're lonely and you're sad about that, or you're bitter that your beloved is off with someone else, or there's many different stories, or you're undesirable and nobody would want you, and so there's many different stories that we can tell ourselves. And so that's one story. Or maybe you're in a relationship and you're hoping that when you get home from work today, your beloved will have taken candles and lined them up the hallway to the bedroom where the bed is sprinkled with rose petals and there's champagne chilling, and you get home and maybe he picked up a cheap stuffed pink teddy bear from outside a stand at the gas station and you make that story about how he doesn't really love you, or he's a bad lover or whatever. So look for different possibilities. Maybe he was bewildered. He didn't know what to do. He knew whatever he did was going to not be adequate. And maybe he does care about you. So anyway, I'm just saying that you can play with your stories, and the one that you believe is the one that's more, is going to become more true as you invest your time and energy into that. And if you want to change that and change what happens, start playing with that story. Find a different one. So, okay, that's all for now. I'm going to go play and enjoy this beautiful day, and I hope whatever you're doing is a special way to celebrate this day. And yeah, I know it's an overly commercialized holiday, as many of the popular ones are, but that's a story you can change too. You can say, you can either be cynical about it or say, here it is, a day for giving and receiving love. Go give some love to somebody. You know, even if it's a stranger on the street. Go, you know, I mean, not literally, but you can smile and be warm and friendly. So anyway, change your story, change your life. Happy Valentine's Day, and sending you my love.